Every modern smartphone displays a monument to an ancient dictator. The word we use for the 8th month of the year is a linguistic artifact of absolute power, surviving long after the empire that created it. To find its origin, we have to strip away the digital interfaces and the printed pages, winding the clock back 2 millennia to the timekeeping systems of the ancient Roman Republic. This stone fragment reveals the original Roman calendar, featuring a rigid geometric grid and Latin month names. Among them is a month that has since vanished from our vocabulary, Sextilis. In Rome, time was a physical asset, literally etched into the city's architecture. Yet, despite being carved in stone, the month of Sextilis was eventually targeted for total erasure. Rewriting a society's measurement of time requires a level of control that the Roman Republic was never designed to allow. The opportunity for such power only emerged when the Republic's existing systems collapsed into a total vacuum. That collapse began with the assassination of Julius Caesar. His sudden death left no clear successor, instantly decapitating the Roman government and leaving the Mediterranean world in a state of shock. The Senate met here, in the Curia Julia, but the institutional gears had ground to a halt. Governance was replaced by factional paranoia and backroom deals as various leaders vied for control. The political debate rapidly dissolved into brutal, widespread civil wars, stretching across the entirety of the Roman Empire. This was a structural failure of the state. Supply lines for grain were cut, the value of currency fluctuated wildly, and the Roman world faced the very real possibility of fracturing into a dozen warring pieces. By the end of a decade of chaos, the Roman public had reached a point of exhaustion. The desire for a functioning state began to eclipse the commitment to a traditional, yet increasingly violent, representative government. Octavian emerged as the sole survivor of these civil wars. He had the military force to rule, but he understood that raw power alone was too brittle to last. He avoided the title of king, a word Romans historically despised. Instead, he presented himself as a restorer of traditions, slowly absorbing every significant legal office until the Senate existed only to ratify his personal decisions. The Senate officially granted him the title Augustus, meaning the illustrious one. This golden laurel wreath became the symbol of a new kind of authority, one that was absolute, yet framed as a gift from the people. To finalize this transition, the Senate officially renamed the month of Sextilis to Augustus. His name was no longer just a title, it was a unit of time. This was a masterclass in psychological conditioning. By embedding his identity into the calendar, he ensured that every financial contract, every religious festival, and every daily plan served as a recurring reminder of his central role in the universe. This period of enforced stability became known as the Pax Romana. For the first time in generations, the internal borders of the empire were quiet, allowing for a massive redirection of Roman resources. As seen in this relief, Augustus turned the Roman legions into a massive labor force. These soldiers built the bridges and roads that physically integrated the Mediterranean into a single economic bloc. This map shows the resulting commercial explosion. Safe seas and secured borders allowed trade to flow from the edges of the empire to the center, fueling a level of Mediterranean wealth that was previously unimaginable. The tax revenue from this trade funded the construction of hundreds of aqueducts and thousands of miles of paved roads, tangibly improving the quality of life for millions of people across 3 continents. The ruins of the Roman Forum stand as the physical footprint of this era. Augustus claimed he found Rome a city of bricks and left it a city of marble. The material success of this period, the predictable grain supplies, the clean water, and safe travel, effectively neutralized any widespread appetite for a return to the volatile, albeit freer, politics of the past. Marble decays and borders shift. Despite the immense physical wealth Augustus generated, every material empire eventually meets its limit. Over the centuries, the Roman legions withdrew and the temples fell into ruin. But while the physical city crumbled, the abstract systems Augustus used to organize human life proved to be nearly indestructible. The Augustan calendar system survived the fall of Rome, seamlessly crossing the Middle Ages into the modern era. This legacy is present every time a global flight is booked or a digital meeting is scheduled for August. We are still operating within a system of time specifically engineered to honor a man who died 2,000 years ago. Augustus Caesar achieved a form of immortality that outlasted his armies and his architecture. He engineered the structure of society so deeply that he remains a silent architect of our modern lives, permanently colonizing time itself.